This year I died. My baby Esley Guy Jr. was born, and my tribe is recognizing my dad with a flag raising. If it wasn't for that AED, I don't know if I would mentally be here.
He went hunting, and then his hunting partner had gone home, and he was really tired, and I had encouraged him to stay there.
And it was nice to be back in my cabin, and I called Melinda, and she said, well, if you're running late, just stay. So I stayed Monday, and I was gonna come back because Turkey Day, we had our deer, that sort of thing. I was just taking my time.
The next day, he said he was coming home.
Got back about 11:30 at night. And my favorite chair I missed. I've been gone for 5 days. I have just my robe on. I get up and I'm like, man, I'm just so tired. I can't shake this tiredness.
I heard something that I just couldn't place. It was just an odd noise, and it didn't initially alarm me at all. It was just an odd noise, but it was enough that I got up and came in. And before I even rounded the corner in the hallway, I knew something was really wrong.
I heard my mom start screaming for me, and I could tell from her tone it was something serious. So I threw on some clothes and immediately called 911 before I got out here.
We got the AED. Brandon had looked at me and said, I haven't used this before. And I said, just pull the tab, and it's all voice directed.
The AED said to administer it, so we shocked him. That got him breathing again.
They kind of lifted him up, and I kind of moved the chair back so he was flat on the ground, and then Brandon just kept doing CPR.
My son, Esley Guy Sr., he got the AED through Stryker.
They received the AED around September. My mom let me know that they had it, and it was about 2 months later I was notified the day before Thanksgiving that my dad in fact did have a heart attack. My brother did tell me we used the AED, it got him breathing again, and at that point I couldn't relax, but it was, oh my gosh, we've got a shot here.
Melinda was my high school advisor. I was looking for classes to take, and she recommended a criminal justice course to me, and that's ultimately what led me here today. We started giving good quality CPR immediately when we got there, and then I would say within 5 minutes, EMS arrived on scene.
From the time we got the call, it took us approximately 8 minutes to get on scene. And we walk in the house and we log rolled him onto the Lucas board.
That day when they said we got a pulse back as they were taking him into the ambulance, that feeling of relief that came over me.
I was walking into the hospital and I was looking for his room number, and then I turned and looked in the room, and he was elevated somewhat in the bed. His eyes looked just directly at me, and he waved just like, hey, I'm over here. You're expecting something, and then all of a sudden something really wonderful happens. It's still a little bit of a shock. It's like it took a while to kind of let your brain get around everything.
My family comes from the Indian tribes, the Mandan, Hidatsa, and Arikara. The name of Esley came from my grandfather. And then, of course, my dad named me Esley Peter Thornton Jr. So when I had my son, I said, let's make Esley original, so let's change his last name. Not thinking about where this would end up until he had a baby, invited me into the hospital room.
Being able to see my dad stare into his eyes, and I know in that moment for him, he had the realization that this is a gift. He could very easily be gone. And instead, he was getting to stare at his namesake. And of course, at the time when he started to weep, baby Esley just started breaking out a smile for about 5-10 seconds straight.
Just so many little details. If they would have been tweaked just a bit, it would have been much different. Definitely makes you appreciate your time more.
I tell Rhiannon, I said, I teed it up, but you hit the home run. You executed it. Without you and what you did, you saved our dad.
I've never seen an AED at a home, not as an officer responding to a scene.
So in 22 years of being an EMS, this is the first time I've ever seen AED utilized in a home.
Everything lined up right for Mr. Thornton that day.
I am really appreciative of the police force, the EMTs. You saved my life. You give my family and me more time. I just love my family.